The following game has been rated T for teen by the ESRB for fantasy violence, mild language, and drug references. That means anyone under the age of 13 should not be watching this video. You have been warned. Greetings and salutations. I am Outlier and I bid you welcome to this channel. Joining me today is, of course, my usual co-hosts, Snowball and Wolf. And today we are returning back to Starpoint Gemini Warlords. Well, sort of. You don't actually colonize planets in this one. That's pretty much any other strategic space game that I play. But you do command at least, well, currently one fleet of ships. The premise of the Starpoint Gemini series, of which Warlords is the third game out of four-ish, I believe. I'll get to that in a minute. Is that you take on the role of a starship captain. And you do various starship things, mainly just simply fighting off enemy ships, occasionally hauling cargo, if you so choose, and asteroid mining and surveying and bounty missions and all that fun stuff. What separates Warlords apart from the other 2.5 games in the series True. The reason why I say 2.5 is because the final one, Starpoint Gemini 3, is still in early access and is technically not a finished product. But that's not an issue for this video. Anyway, what separates Warlords apart from the other titles in this series is that it contains a real-time strategy element, in that you not only command your own starship, but you're able to actually build AI-controlled ships and command one or more fleets to do various things. This game is, of course, made by... Thank you again. Now, that being said, let us begin.
HQ sends word that one of our fleets have finished their task.
Don't quite remember which is better, a dreadnought or a carrier, although I think a carrier has a higher level requirement, so I'm inclined to believe that the carrier is a more powerful, bigger ship. Certainly carries more fighters. But I guess we'll find out as the game progresses which one's better. I know dreadnought is cheaper, and I think you get access to it earlier than you do the carrier, but that's an issue for not right now. So remember from last episode, we had to upgrade to at least a cruiser. In fact, we still arguably have to. And if you remember from last episode, I did say that all we need to do is just basically go around, rake up a whole pile of cash, just to simply buy one, because our command center, Concordia, that's this station right here, has the ability to make and sell and buy ships. However, I decided to do a little bit more, let's just say, proactive. Okay, I have no analogy for it. We went and conquered a bunch of people. We basically took all this stuff because I got tired of them trying to take this forward outpost. Say where is it, but you just zoom in. So we ran through and basically took all the pirate stuff except for here and maybe here. I haven't really explored that, so I don't know what's actually there. So let's just send a civilian fleet out that way, another fleet out that way, and not enough fleets. One more fleet, send that there. I did not stop and check to see what the fleets are actually working on. I just know that, well, I sent them out to do stuff. And in that time of conquest of last episode, I managed to acquire a cruiser through, I would say less than legal means, but it was through boarding actions against pirates. So as far as I'm concerned, it's perfectly legal. So the Eris is our cruiser, or at least it will be once we, well, equip all of our stuff to it. So we go to dry dock, go to loadout, just unmount everything, go back to the garage, select the Eris, and we transfer to command. So this is now our new ship. So if we look at the loadout, it actually, well, has nothing. Actually, no, it has a fighter. The funny thing is, the mediator fighters it actually has currently equipped actually do, looks like, more damage, average damage than my existing fighters, although they don't carry as much fuel as the Delta. So twice as much damage for just under a little bit amount of fuel. I'm assuming they also take longer to launch, just based off what I'm seeing for pre-launch. Yeah, pre-launch 7. Alright, I don't remember which fighter I actually had, so we're just going to remount the mediator. And we're also going to max out the turrets. Now, you would think a ship taken through boarding action would actually come fully equipped, but I guess not. I don't know if it started with so little equipment or it just simply didn't have it. So let's just start remounting all of the equipment that we had. At least I think this is the equipment that we had. I should also point out that at least, well, both cruisers that I had access to, the one that I took and the one that I could buy from the Concordia, neither of them have a aft heavy battery, so can't really do anything there. And I'm not quite certain if I explained it before, but I like having the port and starboard gun batteries be the same things, and I like having them be beam weapons. The aft cannons will be railguns, and the forward cannons will be plasma cannons. Just so that way I have a nice mix of guns all around the ship, in case I come across an enemy that is resistant to one type of weapon over the other. And I also like making certain that the heavy batteries are match the side batteries, so the light batteries, I should say. So I generally put shockwave cannon or shockwave weapons on the port and starboard sides. The front side is, well, the bow facing is usually a fusion torpedo, and the aft heavy weapon battery, if the ship has one, is usually going to be a missile. And of course I have a fighter. Just rearm everything.
We need to customize. So you need to rename the ship. I constantly forget when I'm naming the ships. It needs a bold name, a strong name, a name to strike fear into the hearts of enemies.
Yes, I say this every time, and every time I pick something that doesn't sound fear-inducing or strong or imposing at all. In fact, I usually name it after a type of food.
Also, painting it a different color is kind of, well, difficult because my paintbrush is this little stampy thing, so I don't feel like messing with that. I think the last ship I named, or 2 ships ago, was Biscuit. So we'll go with Bagel. That's simply because that's the first thing I could think of. So, we're all good, ready to launch.
Just one thing before we start. As I said at the beginning of this series, I've played this game before. I didn't complete it before starting making videos of it. But the point where I needed a cruiser was as far as I got. So I'm at the point where I've gotten to before, and everything from this point on will be a new experience for me. And possibly you, if you've bothered to watch the videos up to this point. And if not, well, then you won't be seeing this anyways, so I fail to see how that matters.
Let's continue.
Come to Concordia as soon as you can. Veneros is under blockade. We need to regroup.
Yeah, I don't know why the game, I guess that's a bug, but a couple episodes ago it just started superimposing the first officer's picture over every character. So, Rainer Trace, the person that was talking, does not look like that. But it's always amused me. We pick up a new ship, we leave, we're told we have to come back. So, we turn around and redock. That's a neat effect, a little cloudy thing in the middle. So this is what actually Rainer Trace looks like. So you took your sweet time. I was busy trying to find a cruiser. This is us, by the way. I came here as fast as I could after taking everything what passes for north of our territory. So after your excursion to Adia, everything went to hell. Feneros, that's the planet the Concorde operates out of, was invaded by Setchuk, and we've got their Black Oath ships roaming the entire region, attacking everyone and everything. You must have caused quite the panic. We'll worry about the Oath later. What's the situation on Feneros? We don't know. Setchuk deployed some kind of jamming device in the planet's orbit, lost all communication with Emmerich and the rest of the Council when the siege started. If you have any questions, this might be the best time to ask. So was there any attempt to break through the blockade? Yes, and all failed miserably. But our forces are already stretched thin, fighting smaller skirmishes against the Oath. This is too coordinated to be an impulsive attack. Your presence at Adia may have only forced their hand to go on the offensive earlier than intended. I want to know more about something else. Tell me more about the jammers. Recon says there's 3 of them in total, unless they deployed more in the meantime. If you knock down all 3, we'll gain full comms with the planet. Be advised, however, that border scouts have noticed more chunk ships incoming. And the final question, let's get to work, Trace. Those jammers are going down. Monitor the situation from Concordia, because he likes fighting from the back line, and keep you appraised. Good luck, Protector. To be fair, that's not exactly that statement where he likes to fight from the back line isn't entirely accurate. He's in charge of the science division on Concordia, and is basically our second in command. First part of the game was our boss, but he did a worse job than us, which, given what happened at the beginning of the game, is saying something.
Yes, we did. Well, technically, I don't think it was entirely our fault. Although Security 4 was not important. Let's go.
And before we head off to the Wild Blue Yonder and save the day like the heroes we are, so we saw our cruiser and got to play with its guns. So if we look at the Honor Armada, it consists of... Hang on. Get back here. So it consists of Terra Higgs's Borealis, Necker's Halberd, Maxon's Praetorian, and 5 battleships, which is pretty much the entirety of my fleet, and I can't build any more battleships, so there's that. We can, however, build things smaller than battleships, so if we just add to the queue, we can add in 2 cruisers. Oh no, we have an extra cruiser available, so let's have that join up with the fleet.
HQ sends word that one of our fleets have finished their task.
Oh goody. Send fleet on that salvage run. And he'll catch up. And on that note, let's get moving.
Affirmative. Engage sublight.
We got a planet to save.
The target is well guarded. We'll have to deal with the fleet first.
Oh, battleships, goody. Cloak the ship. Boy fighters.
All wings launch as soon as ready.
We got a whole bunch of battleships, so look at frigate. Take the frigate. So we don't fly into things. Get the ship moving.
Shield at half capacity. Port shield down to 25% capacity. Aft shield down to 25% capacity. You destroyed an enemy target. One of our fleets have finished their job.
Let's keep the side that actually has shields facing the enemy. I guess the dreadnoughts took care of the battleship, because, you know, well, it might not be the closest thing as it fly into something. Really gotta pay attention. Alright, one more Legionnaire. Well, that one's dead. I would say I wonder if I could take it through boarding action, but it went boom, so.
Momentarily, a mining beam can set us off.
Target destroyed.
There is that battleship, though. It's got full biometric screening, though, so we can't send a boarding team. Where's that battleship? Yeah, so now we gotta go to the second jammer. Let's recall the fighters, because I keep forgetting to do that. Send out the salvage drone to, scrap the derelict that used to be a battleship. And, where's the next one?
One of our fleets have finished their job.
There we are. Oh, this one's actually far away. Well, compared to the other. First one was 90,000 measurement units away from Concordia. This one's over 100 and looked like 15,000.
You'll always have a home in Fajana, Captain.
Yeah, so that cruiser eventually did join up. Okay. Having some slight issues.
Not really smart, are you?
Corvette!
They really dug in here. Sensors show fortifications is fully operational.
Oh, goody. This is why I brought 5 battleships, 2 dreadnoughts. A carrier and 2 cruisers. Launch fighters.
Fighter squadrons, you're good to go.
the ship again.
Port shield is at half capacity.
Because for some reason everybody enjoys making certain that the smallest ship goes in front. And to be fair, the smallest ship is the actual command ship, so something tells me I'm not going to be able to board any of these vessels because they're mission related, so I'm assuming they all have
Hostile target eliminated.
biometric shielding because of their storyline purposes.
I guess we'll have to go sometime.
Still, oh, there's two battleships.
Sometime. The lake. Looks like the end of the road.
Oh, now there's one battleship. And now there's no battleships.
The road.
And that's everybody. Let's head off to the next jammer then.
Engaging sublight.
Actually, you know what? Let's again recall the fighters. Collect all the cargo. Why does everybody carry plasma rifles if they're illegal everywhere? I will never understand that.
The area's covered in mines, Captain. We have to tread carefully.
Of course they're going to have mines. And of course, for some reason, I just can't shoot said mines. Because, you know, that makes perfect sense. Are they actually fighting that fleet over there? Because, you know, we got a jammer to take out. Stop.
Front shield is at 50%. Back shield is at half capacity.
That's why I packed the shield rechargers.
Port shield is at half capacity.
Oh, nothing for it but to press on. What's the phrase? Darn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. Guess I know that's not the actual phrase, but you can't, well, quality control rooster probably would have an issue with direct quote. So that frigate's gone. That well, that battleship's alive, and again biometric shield. Recharge the shield. Deploy fighters. Sorry. a second, I thought somebody exploded.
Can't take this much damage.
Did we lose somebody?
Hostile target eliminated.
Excellent work. Try to reach Emmerich's on the ground.
Reinitializing shields.
Go scrap that, because it's right there. Call the fighters. Alright, so how many ships did we lose in that entire action? We lost the cruisers. Okay. That's a good thing I've been building more.
Initiating sublight.
Let's see if the mines can hit us while in sublight, but
Port shield is at
they apparently
90%.
can. So there's that.
Shield is at half capacity. Port shield is at half capacity.
Seneros is glad to have you near.
Hello.
Affirmative. Changing course. Defense shield initiated.
Alright, so Cal Emmerich's technically our boss, or our boss's boss, or our boss's boss's boss, or basically he outranks us. So, Pelgary, do you copy? Pelgary's our character. I hear you, Counselor. What's your status? We're finally getting through. The situation is bad, Protector. We've got fighting in all major cities, but from the looks of it, you've dealt with the boroughs in orbit, correct? Yes, sir. The Germans won't be a problem anymore, until they build new ones. Counselor Emmerichs, what's the estimate on the number of Sentchuk ground forces? Sentchuk? There's no Sentchuk here, Warden. A few hundred Marines, maybe. How can a few hundred Marines cause fighting in every major city? How many major cities are on this planet? They never really actually say what the population is. Maybe. Then who are you fighting? Our own. Several of the council members were working behind our backs all this time. They organized local militia squads that are trying very hard to take control over key installations and establish checkpoints, but they will not succeed. That would probably explain why they didn't want us to go out and do our starship captaining thing. Counselors, how is that possible? Why? We'll deal with the why after we quell the rebellion. Pelgary, border scouts are reporting another Sentchuk fleet is on the way to Feneros. You have to fight them off. Our troops are making good progress, but if the fleet gets into orbit and starts bombarding again, I'm afraid we won't stand a chance. I'll handle the fleet. Trace, can you reroute any reserve ships? Negatives are all tied up in other parts of the region fighting the Black Oath, so then it's up to me, or because I have stats in various skills, like Diplomacy 2, I have the option of keeping Feneros safe is more important. Send over whatever ship you can muster. Probably including the one cruiser that just got built. So, affirmative. Because, you know, we lose the capital planet. Well, not just the capital planet, our only planet. And it's just Concordia, and I don't think that can support an entire government. So we're just going to sell all the cargo, including the illegal stuff. Although, if there's fighting and we're selling at a allied base, they could probably make use of the guns. Oh, wow, I actually took hull damage. Not much hull damage, but hull damage. I didn't even notice. Smaller ship, I probably would have been killed, but this isn't a smaller ship anymore. With the shipyard, actually not all that much. Just goes up to destroyer.
May your travels be bountiful.
Didn't recharge the shield, which is what I find surprising. Alright, so we have to intercept the fleet. Is that moving? It actually is moving, yes. So alright, let's have our one extra cruiser head straight towards us. In the meantime, course, I'm moving forward, so... No, it's not actually moving.
Affirmative. Engage sublight.
So, Captain, the Concordia issues free T-Drive charges for any long-distance Concordia-related missions. Would you like to use T-Drive travel to the chosen destination? No, we'll go there manually, just so that way this cruiser has time to catch up.
I'm sending several ships your way. They'll get to your location as soon as possible.
Oh, a dreadnought. Goody. Battleship, a frigate, battleship, several battleships actually. You know what? I got battleships of my own, dreadnoughts of my own. Deploy the fighters. Let's go after something small. And by that, I mean something we can actually kill easily.
Port shield is at half capacity.
Sure it is. Let's not have them face the port side. Oh look, a battleship. Who are we shooting at? Oh, we're shooting at the dreadnought. That makes things like so much easier. More ships are inbound. I think they're friendly. That one's dead. That's that one. But I would say anybody else, and of course there's somebody else. Shields real quick. I would say weapon ammo, weapon battery power for the part. Let's not fly into our own side, okay?
Abandon all stations.
Well, he's dead.
Excellent work. Try to reach Emmerich's on the ground.
Cool, we're gonna salvage this real quick. This is a nice big ship. So why not? We actually lose anybody? No, and both cruisers are now actually part of the fleet again. So we'll send 4 civilian fleets out there. Send that fleet out that way. I think I actually lost all but one of my fighters. Because now it says returning 1 out of 5. Oopsies. Just shoot that on the way. Yeah, I don't technically need to use the salvage drones, but I get more or higher quality stuff if I use them. But I can always just shoot the ship. What we hit? Oh look, gunships. Let's have them make certain they have a not nice day. I mean, I probably could actually, you know, send over Marines and take over these ships, but I think I actually already have the hulls researched, so I can just build more.
Affirmative. Engage sublight.
And, you know, I don't need to keep smaller ships. In fact, I don't usually use the ships that I have once I grow out of them. So here we are, Emmerich's again. Alright, so Cal Emmerich's, good job, Protector Pelgrim, leave the fleeing ships to our border scouts. Any trade supplies? Let them know to expect company. What's the situation, Counselor? No, I already said that. Counselor, Orlan and Beckett are in custody. We're still searching for Saria Kane. She's hiding somewhere in the capital. What will happen to them? Probably they'll be executed. The remaining custody being questioned before standing trial for their acts of treason. Don't worry about that, Arden. Please land on Feneros. I just landed on Feneros. Your troopers can join our ground forces in clearing this whole mess. Just sell all of that. Rearm. We actually didn't lose shield, so no hull damage. Yay us. But yeah, everything from like the Sigma to the freighter I have to the destroyer. Yeah, I remember everyone says like that's not our destroyer, but that's a destroyer that we were given to us for a stealth mission, and they let us keep it for some reason. Taros, you know, all these ships I don't really use, but I keep just mostly for nostalgia purposes and because I can. That is neither here nor there, so I guess we have to leave and then come back. Wow.
One of our fleets have finished their job.
So now I have to upgrade to at least a battleship. That was a small chapter.
I consider each section of the game a chapter based off of the ship that I need to play it. So 2 episodes before, where I completed everything that I needed for the destroyer, that was the destroyer chapter. Once I upgraded to the cruiser, this has been the cruiser chapter. Now I need a battleship to start, I guess, the battleship chapter. Which is probably a good idea that I upgrade to the battleship, well, a battleship, mostly on account of I'm technically supposed to be commanding everybody, and I'm basically flying the smallest ship in the fleet. Not a good idea from any tactical or military or sane perspectives.
But that's neither here nor there, so let's head back to Concordia because they don't sell battleships at Feneros.
Affirmative. Engage sublight.
What's all this stuff? Oh, various derelicts. Probably from when we took out the jammers.
Engaging sublight.
Let's go. And we dock. Alright, so if we look at the shipyard, carrier, dreadnought, carrier. Borealis is what Terra's piloting. Apparently you need to be level 28 in order to pilot, and she's actually 26, so I guess she's supposed to be piloting an Asteria. So Freightliner. So I have actually several battleships I could choose from. I could go with the Glycon class, which is built by the Nexus, and cost $26,250,000. To be fair, I only have $11.6 million to my name, so there's that. On the Zodiac is the cruiser I could have bought. And then there's also the Bishop battleship, which is built by the Gladys Group, which costs $20 million, as well as the Orion, which is built by us, also $20 million. So if we look at the systems, it has 5 port and starboard light batteries, 5 forward batteries, or bow battery, or forward batteries. I interchange the name bow and forward all the time, so there's that. It's actually 1 less than our cruiser that we're currently flying, but I think the pirates restole the cruiser. I mean,
Legally salvaged the cruiser through boarding action. Yes, we legally took it. From its prior owner, yes.
Anyway, they prefer to have all their guns on the front, so that's probably why there's that. Actually look, there's 5 turrets on the back instead of just 2. So I think the Solari Concord like having their turret facings be relatively equal. More heavy battery ammo on each one, and actually has an aft battery available. So that's the Orion. Still only 1 ship, but I don't think you actually get more larger fighter hangar until you upgrade to the carrier. But the grappler's the same, the sensors are the same. Ridiculously greater amount of shielding. Slightly less maneuverable and about the same speed. Although apparently it does have faster sublet. I'm not quite sure what 2 and 3 are. To be fair, I don't actually look at the subsystems all that often. They're usually the same, like the transporter is going to be the same, the grappler is going to be the same, all that stuff. So, now if we look at the Bishop, so it's actually got the same number of turrets on the bow and port and starboard as the Orion, but not as many on the back. It looks like it carries more heavy battery ammo on the forward and side launchers. Not as much on the back. And if we look at 17,500 for shields, 27,500 for shields for the Orion. Okay, so the Bishop has greater hull density. It's got more hull hit points at 100,000 compared to the Orion at 82,500. But the Orion has better shielding and actually a couple more guns than the Bishop does. It's also, and the Orion's also more maneuverable than the Bishop is. Whereas the Glycon has slightly less shields than the Orion, and actually less hull as well. But it actually carries more ammo. Well, it has more turrets on the front and sides than the Orion does, although the Orion has 1 more turret on the back. It also looks like it carries more heavy ammo for the forward and back magazines. Technically more ammo than all the magazines. The Orion only has the ability to carry 33 per facing, whereas the port and starboard battery sides carry 35 and the fore and aft ones carry 60. So you're able to carry more ammo and more guns for less hull and slightly weaker shields. It's also slower too, I believe. Actually, it's as maneuverable as the Orion is. So for 6.25 million more, I get a bunch more guns. There's also no fighter bay. I just realized that. I like having fighters. So I can have overall weaker shields and less guns. Well, slightly few. I mean, only the aft facing has fewer turrets than the Orion does. It actually carries more ammo on the side and front batteries than the Orion. But it's slower, and I actually like having more guns. And in truth, I think I'll go with the Orion unless I manage to steal another battleship. Which, given how hard it was to take a cruiser, I'm not entirely too keen as to the fact I'm going to be able to steal a battleship. Both the Bishop and the Glycon also are able to carry more cargo, but given the fact that all of my cargo was basically loot picked up from pillage from destroyed vessels, which I basically sell as soon as I get back to port, I don't think it's as much of an issue. Then I have the Dreadnought, the Astera, which I could technically field because I could technically pilot because I'm at a high enough level, whereas the Borealis I can't. But that's 65 million. That's over 3 times the amount of any battleship. So we're not going to deal with that just yet. So since there's no storyline mission out and about. I guess we are going to do some job board stuff. Alright, so it looks like the convoy raid pays the most. So, well, it's only a few thousand more. Whereas destruction, willing capable crews wanted, Solari conquer once the area cleared of any intruders. Spray going for above and beyond the agreed terms is guaranteed. I have absolutely no idea what that means, but I'm assuming fly to someplace, blow everything up, get paid. Although this destruction mission actually pays more. As hiring crew to get rid the area of vermin, inducing full carnage, is paid extra. So I'm assuming we fight a bunch of people and eventually they try to flee, and if we manage to kill everybody, then we get paid more. So since that's the most, we'll take that one. Yes, I know it's at a higher level and most likely a more dangerous and difficult mission, but you know what? We're flying with the fleet and we are not leaving them behind right now. So there's that. And who knows, maybe we can actually take a battleship. And here we go. Oh, that's a carrier. Let's not try to fight the carrier. Who are we shooting at? Boy, the fighter. No, let's send over a boarding team. Let's see what happens. Cloak the vessel.
Affirmative. Engaging cloak.
So as you've no doubt heard me say before, you board an enemy vessel, you have a certain number of Marines depending upon the number of troops ship you have. You advance through all various things, and each place you advance generally costs you more Marines to do so. Yeah, so now I don't have enough Marines left to actually move on past weapons control, so we're just going to turn back on the turrets.
At half capacity. Starboard shield at 25%, Captain.
Get to the boat!
We're actually out of range right now. For this thing, anyway. I always keep forgetting the range on my weapons. We actually managed to blow something up, apparently. So that carrier is destroyed. Oh look, a cruiser. So as you see, the numbers are lower because we're basically trying to take a smaller vessel. So you basically breach through the hull, you go through the cargo bay, hit the engine room, then it usually varies, but it's usually shield generator than weapons control. And every so often you come across a med bay, which actually allows you to heal some of your troops. Usually also doesn't require you to cost Marines to move on. Then when you get to the final area of the bridge, any Marines that you have go to the chance for taking it. And if you have enough Marines, you're basically guaranteed a chance. If you don't have enough Marines, it's a percentage chance, and we actually managed to take this cruiser. So once you manage to take a ship through a boarding action, there's a variety of options available. You can salvage it for parts, which nets you a whole bunch of materials. You can send it to headquarters and make it ready to serve the fleet, which turns it into an AI-controlled vessel, which costs you materials to repair it. you can put it into your garage, which basically makes it a player-controlled ship, which I can then switch to, which I would expend credits to repair, or I can sell the ship and transfer the credits to my account, which is basically, well, would get me money. Or I can send the hull to headquarters for research for allow construction, which at 100% research, I would assume that means if I send the ship off to be researched, it'll guarantee 100%, which means we'll be complete, which means that the Concordia will be able to build more of this ship class. So let's do that, because I feel like it. Who's next? Some sort of platform. And that's dead. Anybody left? Rephrase that. Anybody left that isn't my side? I guess not. So did we win? It says say destroy as many objects as possible.
Firing at will.
Apparently we can also blow up derelicts as well. And apparently heavy weapons are also illegal in addition to plasma guns. So apparently not only do we have to take out the enemy ships, we also have to burn their corpses. Okay then. We also apparently have new tasks available.
Status completed.
We're good. We get 2.9 million just for that. And we also go up a level. Okay then, let's head back.
Course set. Engaging sublight.
Alright, so now 14.7 million. And I should also point out, I'm going to actually need more than 20 million, because not only do I need to buy the ship, I also need to keep outfitting it, because apparently every ship that you purchase, or steal, I mean salvage, starts with only one turret, so I have to buy the turrets as well, extra turrets as well. I don't need to buy the guns per se, because I basically just pull the guns off of my existing ships. Oh look, an anomaly. So one thing that I mention every episode, but haven't actually gotten to this episode, is that storyline for the game, is that storyline for the series, the system of Gemini was settled by the Terran Empire, which you used to be a part of, but it decided it wanted its independence.
Initiating scan.
So they fought a war against their former governing body, oversight body, and the ensuing original war, somebody, I'm not quite certain who, decided to use reality and space-bending weapons. So not only severed the Gemini system off from everybody else, but created those anomalies, which can cause a variety of buffs and debuffs. Are any of them beneficial? I don't actually remember. Anyway, they mess with their ship in a certain way. You need to get rid of them, and all you gotta do is scan them. So there's that. Just solve that for the change of chumps. And back to the job board. Oh wow, an installation assault for 3 point some odd million. So this one requires level 30. Revenant managed to construct an installation in the target area. Slayer Concord can't let that slide. Interested mercenary fleets were invited to do a cleanup job. The installation must not remain standing. I think we can do that, and if not, then well, that's what saving and reloading is for. Alright, so where are we going?
Engaging sublight. One of our fleets have finished their job.
Arriving at the construction site.
Okay, I am clearly not paying attention, because we have just engaged in battle. It's a gunship. It's another gunship. That's a corvette. Let's send over our boarding team. I don't really want or need the corvette, but it's a small ship, so I shouldn't really need all that many marines, which means we can pillage. And I didn't say it before, and now I think about it, let's launch the fighters, not that related. But in addition to basically taking a part of a vessel and just moving on, you can do what's known as pillage, which you expend a ridiculously large number of marines to basically take out that area. So if you pillage, say, the cargo bay, they drop extra cargo. You pillage the engine room, they lose power to the engines. Same with shields or weapons. And I passed by the shield bay, the shield grid, because I didn't have enough marines to actually pillage and then move on. So I just basically skipped to the weapons array. And now that that's been disabled, we advance. And have the remaining 13 Marines try to take the bridge. Troops have failed to pacify the vessel, but that's okay. I did not want the vessel to begin with. I just wanted to break it.
Enemy down.
And that's the platform.
We've destroyed an enemy target.
A platform, I should say. That's actually ridiculously out of range. It was out of range. Not so much now. Let's reboost the shields.
Shields are back online.
I suppose we can just simply take this solar plant as opposed to blowing it up, but okay. We should probably focus on the thing shooting at the ship, so let's get moving again. Let's reboost the shields. For some reason it thinks that this one's closest, but okay.
Fortunately, there's at half capacity.
Let's get it on a facing that isn't at 0.
Energy shields reinitialized. Force shields at 20% capacity. Front shield at 50%.
And there goes one more platform. Those are missiles. my abilities. Go to town on this platform. So that platform's gone. Took some health damage. Repair that just fine. Boosting the port and starboard shields again as we do another pass. Goes that platform. Now I really should probably. Oh look, they took out the solar panel array, I guess. All that's left is a few gun platforms, which we might as well just take out simply because we're still right here. And it's gone. So we call the fighters and head back. That's the T-gate.
Engaging subbite.
Concordian personnel greet you, Captain.
Alright, so I'm not really a fan of the fact that the prices for various jobs varies wildly, I should point out. You know, the last mission we did was 3 point some odd million. Next closest highest this round seems to be 1.6, where we have to hunt down a veteran. But it's the next highest, so we'll just accept that. We're at 18.5, so that should technically put us over.
May our paths cross again.
Oh, Tara Higgs went up a level. As did, I believe, Maxton did as well. So let's go hunt the veteran over here. And here we are at the veteran, so we have to attack a bunch of gunships. Well, this gunship. So again, we breach. We have to destroy the henchmen in order to learn about the location of the veteran.
4.
One thing I do like is the fact that any ship that your troops are on, neither your gun crews nor your allied gun crews will attack. So as long as my Marines are performing boarding actions on this ship, the ship won't get attacked. So we destroyed the shield generator, we advance, and we now receive a permanent perk due to boarding prowess, which means we don't need to, well, we could hit the weapons control, but if we just move on to
Put up a better fight.
this, we have a 72% chance of taking it. Had we not bothered to, troops have failed to capture the ship. Had we not bothered to pillage the shield generator, we probably would have had enough Marines to outright take the ship. So the veteran is coming, and the veteran is on a carrier. Also, well, it's got full biometric shielding, but every time you use a board, you send Marines off the board, they have a cooldown period, which after a certain while you can't, until a certain time period has passed, you actually can't send them out on another boarding action. And I believe if you wait the minimum amount, they will not be as effective as if you wait fully. And the ship keeps repairing the shields because he's high up, and he has not only means he has a very big ship, he also has all the good guns, all the good toys. Probably good guns as well. Toys definitely, but that's still not enough to protect him from from 2 dreadnoughts, a carrier, 5 battleships, and what, 3-4 cruisers by themselves. I'm looking to see if there's a derelict of that carrier. Nice big ship, I just want to break it apart. Does not look like it though. Well, there is something on the map, but I think those are the good. Alright, moving on. Back to Concordia.
Course set. Initiating sublight.
Okay, so now we have 2.3 million credits, so we actually now have enough to actually build the Orion. Well, not build. We have enough to actually build the Orion, but we won't have enough to completely purchase all of the turrets, and this interference you see is a anomaly messing with the sensors. We're just flying past it, so I'm not going to bother to stop and scan it. Hey, do you guys mind? I know you think I'm awesome and want to give me hugs, but we're flying at sublight speeds, which, as far as I know, is ridiculously fast. I prefer not to hit other ships. So we again rearm. We sell all the ill-gotten gains. And we look at the jobs board again. Yeah, less than $1 million for a recommended level 30 job. It is salvaged, but still. We have 1.1 for defense. Oh, we can hunt a War Master for 5.9, just shy of 6 million. Destruction for just over 4. Another destruction for just over 4. You know what? I'm kind of greedy, and we're actually at the recommended level, so technically we should be able to handle this guy. So the infamous Thorson, wanted dead as dead can be. Targets expected to provide heavy resistance, but Solara conquered. Will authorize fair compensation for delivery of proof of the deed. Exact target location is unknown.
Safe travels.
So we basically go to the waypoint, we scan the waypoint or do something at the waypoint. We find out that he's not there, we either go to a different waypoint and say what's that, but that's the T-gate, which is a wormhole that
one of our fleets have finished their task.
Has a stabilization ring built around it. Allows us to instantly fast travel without the need for a T-drive charge, although we can only jump to other gates in the network. Although there's apparently quite a few gates in the network. I mean, I have access to 2 of them in my space. There's another one there, a couple more. Right here at the Sora Barony, another at the Margaret Barony. Probably one somewhere in the Nexus approach. And here's a battleship. So let's send over a ground team. I'm probably not going to be able to take this one either, just simply because it requires a lot of Marines to get through each and every compartment, and the med bay was rather early. So I still got to cut through the engines, the shields, and the guns, and then have enough Marines to actually take the bridge. And they finished building a
That can't be your best, can it?
cruiser, which I completely forgot they were doing. Yeah, so I got 9 Marines left, a 3% chance to take the bridge. Troops have failed to take the ship. No surprise, right? Given the fact it is a battleship, not all that surprising per se. I mean, I didn't actually expect to take it. Would have been nice, but you know, I took this. Main reason why I took this cruiser, as I believe, the oh, so the veterans now coming. Let's deploy the fighters, because I forgot to do that last time, and again. Shoot the derelict for the fun of it. Another carrier. Goody. 1 carrier versus all my stuff. So, yeah, there's that. Let me guess, he's got biometric screening. I don't know why the very large ships like the dreadnoughts, the carriers, and whatnot just sit there. I mean, probably because they're very big ships, they're slow moving, they don't actually you know, maneuver very well. But still, there's 2 ways to survive a battle. Have enough armor and health and shields or whatever defensive, what have you, in game to survive any hit that you take, or be fast enough to just not get hit. I would say still 1 against all of us isn't enough to survive, but I think they just blew up one of my guys. I think. There's actually more ships here now. So we're going to repair the shields. And who just showed up? Oh, a gunship. Okay. Dead. Corvette that's dead. Destroyer. Interesting. Various frigates. They're escaping. We'll remember that. So, do we at least get the money? We do at least get the money, okay. Call the fighters, they're returning anyway, so... I may have lost a cruiser, but I don't actually recall how many cruisers I originally have. So I may not have actually lost anybody. I know I still have 5 battleships. And only 3 War Masters, and they're all here, so there's that. Now I'm at 26.7 million.
Adjusting access elevation. Setting course. Affirmative. Engage sublight.
Personal greetings to you, Captain. Always welcome.
Alright, and we return to Concordia. Sell off everything again. Rearm because we actually didn't use shields, so took no hull damage. And we now have skills and perks. The cloaking device is probably the one that I use the most, and I'm just checking that all the other skills are at roughly the same level. And then we upgrade the cloaking device. So now's duration of 30 seconds. Yeah, basically the amount of time that I stay cloaked, right, stays roughly the same. And I have a perk point. And I have not been putting anything into any familiarity with any size of ship, just simply because I change ships so often, it's like, what's the point? I mean, if if I put in a gunship, put it in gunship familiarity right off the bat, you know, I'm already moved on. I probably would have moved on to the Corvette fairly soon. You know, just as you saw earlier in this episode, the cruiser chapter lasted all of 30 minutes before I now need a battleship. Who knows how short of a chapter that'll be. I can also do various training, which increases the damage for weapons. I probably should actually do that, but I like keeping everything balanced. And it gets me, tax collector gets me extra credits. Structure construction's faster. All production HQ is done 35% faster. And so then we also have perk skills like merchant diplomacy, which unlock new dialogue options, and then various warfare-based ones. Part of me actually wants to put in the ones that get me extra dialogue options. Like, I know hacking, it doesn't say dialogue options, but it is something that I can do to increase that happens during storyline pieces sometimes. It gives me either extra benefits or allows me to do something easier, whereas, you know, I would probably be able to convince somebody if I had, say, Diplomacy 3, or as you saw earlier in the episode, I had Diplomacy 2, which allowed me to convince Raynor to send extra ships when fighting off the enemy. It wasn't really necessary because my ships were bigger and more numerous than theirs, but if I didn't have Diplomacy 2, I wouldn't have that. So everything's at 2, and I have no idea which one I'll need first. Let me actually put it in hacking. Wild guess as to which one I'll need first, but it seems like there's always one hacking check, or one merchant check, and one diplomacy check, so all that fun stuff. Besides, there's extra benefits to it as well. So yeah, so I now have enough to purchase. Well, I can't purchase all of the no, I actually do have enough to purchase the Glycon. I don't want the Glycon, I want the Orion. So we'll just purchase that to the garage. Because if I transfer my flag over to it, it will start the next chapter, which I don't want to do at this point. Just simply because I wish to leave everything with regards to the battleship chapter for another episode. And on that note, I shall call it here.
Everybody stay safe from the plague, and have a good day.